going to show you how to make single crochet stitches. These are rather small stitches and are usually very dense in nature, especially if you use a hook size smaller than indicated on the yarn wrapper. These stitches are often used in toys and stuffed animals, and as well as a base for many projects. I refer to this stitch as a single crochet because I use US terms in this video. If you're using UK terms, this same stitch is called a double crochet stitch. So it's a single crochet in US terms and a double crochet in UK terms. So how to make single crochet stitches? You insert your hook in the stitch below. You pick up both loops. You see here I have 2 loops on my hook. So I'm working through both those little loops. Pick up the yarn from the back and bring to the front. You now have 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over again, so you pick up your yarn. I'm bringing my hook down to make it easy to take through these stitches. So yarn over and pull through both loops on my hook. This is a single crochet stitch made. I'll show you again. The next stitch, underneath both loops, pick up, bring to the front, again yarn over, pull through both loops, again into both loops, the stitch below, pick up the yarn from the back and bring to the front, again yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. And this is a single crochet in US terms and a double crochet in UK terms. Just going to go to the end of the row, then I'm going to show you how to turn. There are generally 2 ways for turning single crochets that you may find in patterns. I'll quickly show you both. So now at the end of a row, and if I want to go to the next row, how do I do that? There are 2 ways. What I prefer doing is I do a chain 1 and I turn my work. Then this chain 1 does not count for anything. It's just a stitch to get me to a good working height. Now I'm going to go into the very first stitch, and that's going to be that stitch there, this little space there. That's my very first stitch. And I'm going to make a single crochet in that stitch. And then this single crochet here is my very first stitch. So I now have a chain 1 next to it. If you see here, if I just turn it, you'll see here this little chain 1 there. That I'm just going to ignore, because the single crochet with the both loops at the top, that is my first stitch. So this is a way that I prefer turning. So a chain 1 and then make a single crochet in the first stitch. So I'm now just going to go over to the other side and then show you a different way of turning. And that involves a chain 2. So I'm just quickly going to go over. Got 10 stitches here, so I'm working 10 full single crochets because I have the chain 1 at the beginning. And now my last single crochet, because I have also, you see here is the chain 1 right there, that's the chain 1, then here at the top is the stitch, and this is my last stitch. Because I'm now not going to do anything with that chain 1 that's here on the side. I'm just going to ignore that. So then this is a 10 full single crochets and a chain 1 right at the beginning. A different way for turning, which you'll also see in patterns a lot, is to do a chain 2. So that means 1, 2 chain stitches, turn your work. In this case, this chain 2 counts as a stitch. That means this very first stitch, that's this one here, that I worked in just now, because I had only the chain 1, you're now going to skip this stitch, because your chain 2 is your first stitch. So that means I'm going to go to the next stitch. So the first one is already made with this chain 2. Then you go to the next stitch and work a single crochet, like so. So this chain 2 here is a stitch, and when you come back the other way, you're going to have to work in this stitch also. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to make a few single crochets until I get to the other side. Then I'll turn in the same way, and then you can see the difference in how you work if you do a chain 1 turn versus a chain 2 turn. And often a pattern will specify which turn they want from you, and whether or not you count the chain 1 as a stitch, which you usually don't, or you count the chain 2 as a stitch. So I'm now working in the last stitch, and I'm still skipping that chain 1 from this previous round because I had a chain 1 in there. So now chain 2, and I'm again going to turn, and I'm going to skip this first stitch. That's that stitch, because the chain 2 counts for that. And on the next one, I'm again going to make a single crochet. I'm going to make a single crochet all the way to the other side. So that means picking up, I'm going a little faster here. So a single crochet is always in the same way. And now you need to pay attention, because this is the last proper stitch. You see that stitch there? But now I also have this chain 2 here, and do not forget to skip that stitch, because if you look at your work, you see you've still got this little angle here. So if you do not work in that chain 2, you're going to get an edge that goes like this instead of a straight edge, which is what you're looking for. So that means in this chain 2, I'm just going to go into the second one, so that's the top chain, and work a single crochet in there, like so. And this, you now see, okay, now your edge is straight here. So if you ever see your edges going skew, for example going inward, you know you missed a chain 2, you didn't work in that. And if you're going outward, you must probably not working into only one chain, but into both chain stitches. Then you will get more stitches than you actually need. And it's often a good idea, if you're just unsure, to just count your stitches. Because you see I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 full stitches, and the chain 2, which counts as a stitch. So now I've still got 10 stitches. But in the case where I use a chain 1 to turn, I'd have 10 full stitches. So I'll show you the turn again. 1, 2 to turn my work around. I'm going to skip this first stitch because the chain 2 counts for that. And in the next stitch, so in the second stitch, work a single crochet. A single crochet is insert, pick up the loop, and pull through both. And through both. So I'm going to go to the other side. So this means I'm now working 8 stitches, and then stitch number 9 will be on the turning chain from the previous round. So this is my last full stitch, and I've got the chain 2 here, so I'm going to insert into that chain 2 space and work a single crochet. And now I've again got 9 full stitches and the chain at the beginning, and this way you can see how you're making straight edges on both sides. So you can either turn with a chain 2 or with a chain 1. So if you use the chain 1 turn, chain 1, turn, and now you work into this first stitch here, make a single crochet. If If you don't do a chain 1 turn, but you do a chain 2 turn, I'm going to do chain 2. Now you're going to skip this stitch and go to the next and work a single crochet.